Well, the NBA Finals are going back up the Rockies as the Denver Nuggets take game number 3 against the Miami Heat 109-94. Joining us to break down the Nuggets win is NBA hype host Mikey Reyes and NBA Philippines All-Star analyst Coach Willie Wilson.
Ooh,
Mikey.
I like this duo.
Yeah, there's a little dance going on there too.
Even the fit too.
Hey, the dance matches the shirt.
Yeah.
Gotta admit that.
It's a little party. It's a little party
Not
for
happy
sure.
talo kami.
Pero just for, I remember watching that game in that first quarter thinking that, okay, Miami Heat off to a relatively good start. But then that second half happens. Jamal Murray, Nikola Jokic, Braun, how you should say his last name really showed
Mikey
out.
covered it.
Mikey,
He should know how you
Brown.
should pronounce it.
Third quarter ko na nalaman na Brown pala yun. But man, he stepped up. He stepped up big time. And Nikola Jokic, every time he plays, the more he plays, the more you figure out how can you solve this problem.
Yeah.
Like the more you notice that he's a once in a generation talent. And parang 40, alam mo yung nagpapapawis lang. Tapos yung mga kalaban niya, yung mga bata. Ganun siya kagaling ngayon.
Coach Willie, I mean, as a coach, I want to pick your brain. What adjustments did you see from the Denver Nuggets? Of course, as Pao mentioned, close no first half, but in the second half, Denver just really pulled away.
Well, as you see, it's kind of, they asked that question to Spoelstra. Are you really trying to make Jokic do all the scoring?
Yeah.
Denver did the same thing to the Miami Heat. Is Coach Mike Malone, trying to make Butler and Bam do all the scoring? Because as you saw, all the supporting cast, they were a no-show today. It was the Bam and Jimmy show, but they need more than that. And I think that right there was by design by Coach Malone to just make it the Bam and Jimmy show.
We're seeing something spectacular in almost every win so far this final series. In game number 2, the Miami Heat shot the 3 balls incredibly well. This time, we saw the first ever triple-double by 2 players on the same team in the Denver Nuggets, Jamal Murray and Nikola Jokic.
Right there.
History makers of both of them, what do you make of their performance? And is that something that Denver could hope to replicate further down the series?
I mean, they can hope to replicate that, but will it be replicated? I highly doubt that it will because, again, this is the first time ever in history. I'm not just talking about the finals. I'm talking about in the history of the NBA. We have never seen this ever done before. I highly doubt that we're ever going to see it
nagawa
again.
ni Scotty tsaka ni Justin Brown.
Ibang liga. Well, Mike, so let's talk about the effort naman of this Denver Nuggets team. Personally, I think, technical-wise, offensively, they didn't do much different from what they've been doing. They just make the right reads. But 58-33 when it comes to rebounding, 60 points in the paint for the Denver Nuggets, 34 for the Miami Heat. They just pounded them inside.
Yeah, from the get-go. They were missing from the outside, but they need to find a way to stop the inside basketball of Denver. And it's not just, even Aaron Gordon was making plays. The activity of these guys is, it's on another level right now. And we talk about Miami. I also want to bring up, Willie talked about how the role players didn't show out. The foul trouble on Gabe Vincent really changed the minutes that he was supposed to play. Suspect calls, especially the one yung talisod yung isang pantay niya, and then he was called for the foul. So, just a lot of the wrongs happening for Miami this game.
Let's talk about Christian Braun again, who, according to Mikey, found out how to pronounce his last name in the third quarter.
Lumabas pa yung graphic ng NBA, bro, bago.
But I own some of those products.
Yeah, I guess. Yeah, but Coach, when you take a look at what Christian Braun's did, again, a rookie coming up, and he probably was not in the scouting report as extensively as the other guys for the Denver Nuggets. Just how much of a big boost is it that they all of a sudden have another weapon here in terms of Christian Braun coming off the bench?
No, I like that you were very specific about the scouting report extensively. Yes, definitely not. But if you saw him back at Kansas, this is no surprise. He is a big-time player. And again, he has, in my opinion, supplanted Michael Porter Jr. As we saw the minutes dwindling for Michael Porter Jr. because he just kept on deciding, you know what, I'm just going to jack shots up from the 3. But Braun, able to fill in what they needed in Denver, slashing to the basket, finishing strong at the cup, and then making key defensive plays.
Would you start Christian Braun over Michael Porter Jr.? Mikey, go.
Shoot first ako eh. MPJ. No, but Christian Braun, being 22, bright future for him. I think he's going to be a problem when he gets better because Denver will have to make a decision if you want to keep him, pay him, or be able to, like an Austin Reeves, parang ganyan nangyayari kay
I think we have an excuse to not say his last name correctly because he's still a rookie, but with how he's playing, we have no excuse right now. Coach Willie, actually, if you remember, in Game 2, Christian Braun was the one who had defensive lapses in the late game of that game, which allowed Duncan Robinson to have 10 straight points in the fourth. How important is it for a coach to still give the confidence, especially to a young guy like Braun, to play this well in Game 3?
I mean, I could speak for myself knowing that as a rookie in my PBA career, when I made a mistake,
You made a mistake.
I made lots of mistakes. Tim Cohn benched me, and I probably did not see the floor again. Had he put me back in, and again, this is the greatest coach of all time in the Philippines. I am not going to second guess any decisions he's made, but it would have definitely boosted my confidence. And then, of course, you don't repeat those mistakes. And as we saw today, he made up for all the lapses that he had last game.
Well, Christian Braun is just one of the factors here for the Denver Nuggets. He was arguably the X factor in the second half, though. Mikey, take a look at what happened to the guys that weren't there for the Miami Heat, particularly scoring-wise. Again, Caleb being the only one with 10 points as the third scorer here for the Miami Heat. Also, their field goal percentage dropped from 48% to 37% in game number 3. How do the bench get back into this game, this series? Because if they split this series again, it's still anyone's ballgame.
Oh, for sure. And I think with them, they just shouldn't stop being aggressive. It's easy when they were winning and then they were playing well. Now the question is, can you still keep up with that kind of mentality to shoot, to let it fly, especially knowing that this is already the finals? It's different. And first time, some of them first time now. So I think Strus, Gabe Vincent. I think Gabe Vincent, I just really believe it was the foul trouble that got him off rhythm. Also, Kevin Love hit 1 3-pointer that I was like, okay, this may be the start, and then he misses 2 straight. But these guys, especially Kevin Love, they know what to do. They've been doing this for all their lives. Even though this is the finals already, at the end of the day, it's basketball. So as long as they keep up that mentality that I'm part of the rotation and I'm gonna have to jack up shots because that's my role, then they'll be fine.
And Coach Willie, jumping to that point, their trend has been if these role players play well, Miami wins. I mean, but if they don't play well, they lose the ball game. So do they just expect and hope that these Duncan Robinson, Max Strus would hit the 3-pointers and put pressure on that defense?
Well, definitely that would give them their best chance to win. Again, they shot almost 50% from 3 in Game 2 and still only won by 3 points.
Right.
I am still a firm believer in Denver having the best player on the court, but the best player in the NBA, and I'm going to go out on a limb and say that makes them the favorites.
Right.
And I don't think that Miami wins another game, in my opinion.
And Mikey, lastly here for Denver naman, Miami tried to make Jokic a score, as Coach Willie mentioned, but Denver's answers was like, we'll just play 2-man game with Murray, Jokic the whole time and not make Jokic go 1-on-1. Just try to make it, stop it. How do you stop that 2-man game?
Why are you asking me, bro? You're asking me of all people how to stop the 2-man game. But
don't let him arrive. Don't let him arrive.
You close the TV. You
won't even defend it anymore.
Don't let him arrive at the stadium.
Honestly, with Jokic, even Spoelstra was talking about it during the interview. They're not trying to make Jokic a scorer. They're not trying to make him a passer. At the end of it, they're just trying to stop the guy and contain the guy. He didn't have assists because his teammates weren't making shots. But today they were making shots, so the assists were there. So how do you stop?
Maybe let's ask Coach Willie.
Coach Willie.
No, like I said, man, I'm first of all on the way to the gym. I'm putting up barricades on the road. I'm jacking the traffic up. Oh, we got a fender bender here, over there.
Bro, joke.
That's the only.
First time I covered a guy like him, and sometimes you don't even call it anymore. You just laugh.
Yeah.
What can you do?
Yeah, what can you do? Again, those two guys were amazing. Again, historic triple-double for the both of them. Jamal Murray, Nikola Jokic, first ever triple-doubles for 2 teammates in a final series. And let's see whether or not that magic is still in them. Coach Willie, Mikey, really appreciate your time sharing about the NBA. And hopefully we get to talk more soon. And you just made a prediction there, Denver in 5. So let's see whether or not that comes true.